Good afternoon, listeners. In Washington, the winds have shifted once more. Donald J. Trump, the man who once famously claimed he could make deals with everyone, even Putin, is now breathing rhetorical fire at the Kremlin. And the stakes? Nothing less than war and peace in Eastern Europe. This is Islamabad Telegraph. I am your host, and today we unpack the volatile rhetoric, the policy ambiguity, and geopolitical chessboard as Trump threatens Russia with a new phase of confrontation. Or is it just more smoke than fire? It started on Tuesday, a Truth Social post that jolted foreign policy watchers. If it were not for me, Trump wrote, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean, really bad. He's playing with fire. The target? Vladimir Putin. The tone? Combative. Perhaps the harshest yet from a man who once praised Putin's strength, his savvy, even his style. But the million dollar question is why? Why the sudden pivot? Sources close to White House say Trump is frustrated. His back channel talks with Moscow has stalled. His dream of orchestrating a quick ceasefire fading, and with each new missile striking Ukrainian cities, the reality sets in. Putin is not playing along. Trump's administration is now weighing what he once evaded sanctions, real biting sanctions. The State and Treasury Department are quietly drafting measures targeting Russia's energy and banking sector. Entire state owned enterprises may soon face a financial freeze. But, but Trump, our the lone decision maker, has not pulled the trigger yet. There is a chance, says Davot Schimmer, a former White House official under Biden. More military support for Ukraine or a step back that advantages Russia and embolden Putin. For now, Trump has done neither. Meanwhile, aid to Ukraine passed during the final months of Biden's presidency is drying up. Kyiv is bracing for a future without American ammunition. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump has often boasted of his supposed influence over Putin. He called the recent chat a good conversation with a nice gentleman. But diplomats briefed on the call says Putin show zero interest in a ceasefire. According to sources, Trump later admitted to the European leaders Putin is not ready. Still, no fresh weapons for Ukraine, no new sanctions for Moscow, just a growing chasm between Trump's rhetoric and the ground reality. Putin does not take these statements seriously, says former US Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor. He sees through the bluff. What he responds to is action. So far, Trump has offered little more than words. Inside the administration, there is division. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a key Trump ally, warns if we threaten sanctions, we lose leverage. The Russian will stop talking. But others argue the opposite. Edward Fishman, a sanctions expert from Obama era, believes there's untapped power in the US arsenal. There's low hanging fruit, he says. We have not even sanctioned Russia's entire energy sector. We have not cut off all banks from the dollar. In fact, despite a year of Western sanctions, the billion still flows into Russians' coffer. So why the restraint? Some say it's strategic. Others say it's political. Trump may be posting, appeasing, appearing top to his base while keeping in his options open, a surprise deal. 2 years since Russia's full scale invasion of Ukraine, the war grinds on. Hundreds of thousands are dead, cities reduced to rubble, and diplomacy stuck in the mud. Listeners, Trump promised to end the war in 24 hours. You all remember, I'm sure. A boast he now calls a little sarcastic. But sarcasm does not help Kiev, ladies and gentlemen, or Washington, or the civilian caught in the crossfire. There's no reason for Putin to bomb civilians. Area lost by Trump admitted. Maybe he does not want peace. Maybe he's just playing along with me. Even Trump seems to suspect that his charged offensive have failed. And the question, in fact, the million-dollar question remains, is he ready to confront Putin for real? Through economic pain, military aid, and coalition pressure? Or this just another episode of the art of the deal, foreign policy edition? In the smoke and midst of geopolitics, clarity is rare, and with Trump rarer still. He says he wants peace, but peace, as any statesman will tell you, is not just about words, it's about action, commitment, strategy. Putin knows this, Ukraine knows this too. And so the world watches not what Trump says, but what he does next. Because in the end, only one question matters. Will he turn up heat on Russia or keep playing with fire until it burns out of control? Listener, it's $1 million question. Let's wait until someone comes up and answers this question.